Yo, what's checking, everybody? Welcome to it's our Prize Pick show here on Orangebloods Live. I'm Jeff Ketchum. That's Alex Dunlap, Jason Sucomel, and Anwar Richardson. We are all together talking about the predictions for Baylor and Texas on Saturday and what our favorite Prize Picks plays are, entries are for the upcoming weekend that will be. Fellas, let's just start with, do us a solid, by the way. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Get notifications, basically push every single button that you can other than the upside down gig 'em. So, Jason, I'll start with you. You put your matchups out this morning on Texas and Baylor. So as we're talking about predictions, I kind of want to hear what you have to say. You were already educating me on how terrible their run defense is before we came on. On paper, Texas should whoop that ass, right?
They should. I did not give Baylor a single edge in any matchup. This is not a very good Baylor football team. They're obviously playing a backup quarterback. They're starting running backs out. They're getting a running back this week, but even he wasn't projected to be their starter. Their run defense is awful. Pass defense statistically is okay, but I think it's a bit of a mirage there a little bit. I mean, on paper, this is a game catch. I think Texas, should win easily. But then I'm like, okay, it's a road game. It's in the Big 12. Are we going to see some Grant Taff final game hijinks by the referees? Texas's last game in Waco potentially ever. On paper, I've got Texas winning very easily. But my mind, my brain, my gut tells me it'll be a little bit closer than my matchups seem to indicate. I just pulled it up. Texas is 15-point favorites is what I'm seeing today. And I'm showing 50.5. I think Blake just showed us 51.5 for the total. I've got Texas. It's weird. Okay, I'm saying my matchups have Texas winning this game by 30 points. I don't think it's going to be that big of a blowout, but I do think they still cover. I've got Texas winning 38-17, so I'm taking Texas to cover that 15 and a little bit over that 50.5 total. I think Texas wins easily on the road. I don't know that it's the cleanest Texas game. We saw last week they didn't play a great game against Wyoming. They didn't play a great game against Rice. But I just don't think this is a very good Baylor football team that can keep up with Texas. So I've got Texas 38-17.
Anwar, Alex, I wanted to go to you on this. So the implied score here is Texas 33-18, not including the 0.5, I guess.
What is this over? I'm looking at 51.5 is the over under.
And Texas is 15-point favorite.
Yep. So be 38-13, something like that.
33-18, I think, because the difference there is 15. Just it's my simple math. It's the only kind of math I can do.
You've been working that calculator for like 10
no,
minutes.
I can do the simple stuff in my head. Don't ask me to do much more than that. Alex, by the way, Jason said this might be the last time that Texas plays in Waco. This is the last time that I can't ever see them volunteering to play in Waco ever again.
No, man, and just thank God for that. Just a week we can just really celebrate just getting rid of these really, really, really just coattail riding, carpet bagging, complete losers up there. But they have to take one more trip up to the little McLean, the little kind of mini McMansion of a state. That's a puny little pathetic little stadium. They try and make the facade look good from the freeway. You looked at that thing from the Brazos River. That's a little puny little 40,000 persons. Just really pathetic and just tiny and puny. Anyway, the Texas on this, so it's
Onward, I can't even hold it back at this point.
He's so disrespectful, just so disrespectful.
They're a horrible group of people. So I'm seeing on FanDuel it's minus 14.5 on FanDuel. It looks like there's on MGM Sportsbook. It looks there's anything from 15.5 to 14.5 out there. So it looks like that line's not completely settled there at the 15. But on FanDuel, 65% of the tickets so far are on Texas. 79% of them, 79% of the bets are on Texas, but only 65% of the money. So Not as many as usual with Texas. I don't take that as a trend that the sharp bets are coming in on the other side. I just take that as a trend that Texas has just a whole grip of small money bettors, right? They have a lot of volume of bettors, but not all those guys are all, people just like to casually bet on Texas because Texas just has so many fans. So I don't really see any trends like that with the with the spread versus the money. So to me, it's like I'm going with the kind of game that I thought this was going to be. I don't think the Texas comes out and completely boat races these guys, but has another good, solid, steady victory. My initial thought, whenever I just thought about what the line should be in this game, I said if it was in a neutral field, based on what I've seen out of Baylor, and even against Baylor, I'm going to watch more of Baylor today. But I mean, they have not looked very impressive in some of the game. I mean, did they lose to Texas State? Or did they barely? Yeah,
badly.
Bad against them. They that Long Island team that they played last week. I mean, they beat them, but they didn't look like a true college team. So, I said on a neutral field, I would make Texas a 24-point favorite. I think if I was a lines maker, that would feel right to me. So take 3 points for home field advantage. I think it's like a 21-point game. So let's say they score 14 points. As is implied here, 35. Texas 35, Baylor 14.
Okay. Anwar, where are you at?
I mean, first of all, I don't have the hate for Waco. I don't think I have enough invested in the hate for Waco or Baylor as Alex does or anyone else. It's fine with me. It's funny on my show. I was like, that stadium kind of gets a little loud sometimes. Like I was like, it's kind of a. It's
because they cheat. Have you seen the things that they put up there? They spent millions of dollars on technology to make it sound like there's more people than there are in that puny little shrimpy thing.
Is that really cheating though, or is that just like smart architecture?
I mean, quite all right. But here's the thing. So here's what doesn't make any sense about Baylor. You guys are hilarious. What doesn't make any sense about Baylor is that, of course, we'll remember the loss against Texas State. But we kind of gloss over that Utah had to score twice late in order to pull out a win against Baylor. So, I mean, we're talking about Utah, which was a ranked team, a ranked opponent, and we think is a pretty good program. So even without a Cam Rising, and Baylor was able to kind of hang with that team. So yeah, I don't know what to make out of a freaking Long Island, but I think at the end of the day, I don't know if Baylor's as bad as we're thinking and what they're making them out to be. Just because I can't ignore the Utah game and act like that didn't happen and act like they didn't have a chance to win that one. So yeah, for me, I'm thinking more of a low scoring game as relates to this one. I think it's more of a defensive-minded game than anything else. And again, Texas, for me to envision Texas going on the road and having some sort of dominance, I'm not there at this moment. So I'm probably right now, I'm probably going to say 27-13. Texas is going to be my final score. Probably not that far off from where Alex's is from this thing, but I'm not expecting Texas to go in and blow the doors off of Baylor, but I'm not but I do think Baylor has enough to at least make it competitive. I don't think they're going to get blown out by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, look, Baylor's playing a backup quarterback. Sawyer Robertson's awful. He's just awful. So the Baylor offense, and they're missing their starting running back. Offensively, they're missing their starting quarterback and running back. It's hard for me to imagine that if Baylor breaks more than 10 points on War, for me, that means there was a special teams or a defensive touchdown mixed in that maybe inflates their point total a little bit. I do agree with you. I think it's going to be a little bit of a lower scoring game. Dave Aranda would almost be stupid not to play a lot of 3-3-5 in this game, given that historically Texas has until Steve Sarkisian in the passing game for Texas starts to beat the ever living daylights out of teams that run this, 3 safety flyover look. I'm doing it. I mean, look at what it did. Look what it did to the Texas-Wyoming game from a week ago. Aranda's defenses does some of that, but they don't do it's not exclusively like their primary defense. It would be this week if it were me. I think Texas. Alex, I thought you were going to say my score when you were working your score out. I'm at kind of like a 31-10 ball game, and if Baylor scores more points than that, then I think they've done it through one of the other three phases of the game, not including offense. It's just hard for me to imagine that this Texas defense against this Baylor offense plays poorly. I think they're going to play really well. I think the Texas offense will be good enough, but not so good that, guys, when we look at the PrizePick numbers, the entries that they've uploaded into the system so far, I'm kind of leaning on some lesses more than I am the mores. Blake, do we have like a full screen that we can put up? All right, so here we go. This is what PrizePicks currently has listed for the University of Texas plays, the entries, if you will, for Saturday's game. I'm guessing that we're going to see a few more. They don't have a Quinn Ewers touchdown number up yet, but they don't have a lot of touchdown pass numbers up in general yet. So I think that's usually one of my favorites. If Ewers is at 2.5, I think I'd seriously consider doing the more. But guys, if you could only pick one of these, everybody, let's all go around the room. Everybody look at the chart that Blake has put up. Anwar, I'll start with you. Is there one of these that you love the most?
This is interesting. Wow, they put interceptions on that. There's a part of me, I'm looking at it. I mean, the interceptions look pretty appealing to me to take the less on the INTs for Quinn. That's really appealing to me. I mean, Xavier Worthy.
Darwin Lemon.
What did he say?
No, he just said exactly what you think he would say. Brooks Moore. Of course.
Yeah. This is. I'm gonna be honest with you. All of these are tough. All these are tough. I would. To me, the safest thing is always. I think with Xavier Worthy, I'll probably win more than I lose. So Xavier Worthy with the receiving yards, I can totally see him that, because with Xavier, all it takes is 1 or 2 and he's gone. But everyone else, I mean, I don't think Jatavian Sanders had a catch in this past game. So I know you asked me to pick one, and but this is the first time I'm seeing all of them. So I'm sorry if I'm taking a little bit of time on this one. I'm stuck between Quinn Ewers with not throwing interception and Xavier Worthy with the yards, but I probably go with the Xavier Worthy with the yards thing, and eventually the INT thing comes to an end. I don't want to be on that set. I'll go with Xavier Worthy. I think he's kind of the safe guy for me.
Alex, what about you?
I mean, it's not going to be popular in this. I think it's a bit from this thing with Darwin Lemon, but I just think I don't know. We're going to find out, and I probably should have waited to make this under bet. I was worried that they would change it, but I probably should have waited and just done it actually from the Zoom meeting with Sark, right? Because I don't think that the news would break and they could change it right as I was hearing it. But I should have maybe done that to see if CJ Baxter for sure looks like he's going to play. I feel like he's going to play. If he's going to play, Jay Brooks could do it in a sort of a 1-2 punch kind of role like this, but this line is absolutely priced in as if CJ Baxter is not going to play. That is a full game. That is a full game projection for Jonathan Brooks, where he's getting the bulk of carries just like he did last week. And I don't think that that's I don't think that that's just a lock to happen. Now, whether they push Baxter back, I'm not sure. We'll find more out about that today. But considering the fact that I kind of consider it 50-50 that he's going to play, there's absolutely no way that I'm not going to take the under on that one right now, assuming and knowing that once they get the word, if Baxter is playing, that projection is going to come down by 30 yards. So yeah.
What everybody should do, Alex, is pay attention to the Sarkisian press availability in an hour, and we'll get a Baxter update, presumably.
Yeah, and it won't be definitive, but you just got to listen to the Sark speak. If he tells you he's going to be good to go, he'll be good to go. If he tells you something that they're going to monitor up to game time, then that probably means it's probably something where it's looking more likely, more like the a 40-60 chance that he doesn't if he uses
Alex,
that monitor.
What if Sark says he was at practice this week? Because sometimes he goes vague. Sometimes he's just like, yeah, the guy was at practice this week, and yep. But he won't say if he participated or he was just standing on the sidelines.
Well, right, but I mean, he's at least told us before. Like, I think he usually says when guys are going to play. Like it isn't always right. Like when he says with Cole Hudson, like he's going to play. Well, he didn't play in that first game. Stuff like that. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to know. It feels to me like they were saying last week that he's day to day, and I know for day to day it means week to week with Sark, but it's just felt to me like he was going to be back this week, man. He's back for conference play, and that line for Brooks is as if he's totally not. I think there's a 50-50 chance that Baxter plays, and so that's obviously the line that I'm going to take. Like that's a big edge.
Jason, what about you? Give me one.
Well, the percentages would seem to say take the less on the interceptions, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not very successful at PrizePicks, and I don't want to jinx Quinn Ewers and all the Texas fans watching this. But the numbers would seem to say Quinn doesn't throw interceptions, so the less on that looks good. Alex, you and I think I disagree with everybody. Jonathan Brooks, 86.5. This is a Baylor defense that is second to last in the Big 12 out of 14 teams, 170 yards per game given up on the ground, only better than Houston. They give up 4.4 yards per attempt. Again, second to last in the Big 12. Even if Baxter plays, I think they go easy on him. I don't think I think Brooks probably gets a start. I could see this. We mentioned Aranda, if he does the 3-3-5, maybe Sark tries to kind of force their way with the running game like he did against Wyoming late in the game. I don't know, man. I almost like the Brooks more, but I tell you, if I'm picking one catch and talking to Baylor people, they said this Baylor's defense, it's actually pretty good statistically against the pass in terms of yards given up, but they said it's susceptible to the short and intermediate stuff in the middle of the field. So to me, that's Jordan Whittington, Jatavian Sanders territory. Take your pick. My gut tells me Whittington, but Sanders, might have a bounce back game. I could see them trying to kind of force feed him the ball a little bit after not having a productive game last week. So I'm going to go against my gut because my gut has not been very good this year. I'm going to take the Jatavian Sanders more than 46.5, maybe able to hit that Baylor defense where it's been it's had a soft spot through the first 3 weeks in the middle of the field. So give me the Jatavian Sanders more than 46.5.
I mean, catch. Isn't this a game where Sark has been hearing people question him about his offense and the pass game and Quinn all week long? Isn't this the game where he tries to say, you know what, Quinn gets 40 attempts, something to that effect, just out of like, I want to make sure everyone knows that I'm the passing guy. This is my quarterback, and I'm going to freaking throw the hell out of this ball because to screw you and all that. Because he was still content to try to pass the ball up until like the fourth quarter last week. So isn't this the game where he says, no, we're going to go out on our sword and we're going to throw the hell out the ball?
Or does he say, hey, we're up by 14. Let's not risk it on the road. Let's just run the shit out of the ball against a shitty defense in the fourth quarter like they did last week. I mean, I get it. Maybe your ego kicks in on Warren. He's like, hey, I'm going to prove my critics wrong. But in the end, I think Sark wants to get the win and get out of Waco with a win. I know you asked catch, but I think he probably runs the ball if they're up by a couple scores. And to me, that plays into the Brooks more a little bit.
I wonder if some of this comes down to what Baylor does schematically. They do have some 3-3-5 flyover looks inside the defense that they run.
What is so much different about a 3-3-5 flyover than just a nickel base?
They play in their safety. They play 3 safeties on the field, and they're all back. So they're basically saying you're not going to throw over the top.
Okay.
Wyoming's coach has come out even this week and said our whole game plan against Texas was make them go the length of the field. They're not going to hit us with the big play, which is kind of strange in the sense that it's not what Texas does real well in the passing game. I mean, they hit the 2 big plays against Alabama, but for the season, I think Quinn is 3 of 14 on balls, 20 or more yards down the field. I need to look at the passing map. I don't have that memorized yet. I think Blake, put it back up there. Just a few thoughts on the Texas entries on PrizePicks. For me, Ewers didn't throw for 200 yards in this game a year ago. The pass defense, if there is a strength of this Baylor defense, it's in the pass defense. I think they're going to be begging Texas to try to run the ball on them. I think the less on the 282.5 is if there are any gimmies on this, that might be the biggest gimme. I'd stay away from the Ewers pass interceptions. He's on the road. He's kind of due. I mean, if such a thing as due exists, he should have been intercepted last week in the end zone against North Texas, against Wyoming. So I'm not saying I would take either side of that. I'm not saying I think he's going to throw an interception. I'm just saying I'd probably stay away from that one. If I'm playing Ewers, I think I would take the less on the passing yards. And Jason, I think I'm kind of right with you. If I had to pick one of these guys, given that Sanders had 0 catches last week, it feels like the bounce back for him this week is that may be the area where I don't want to say overcompensate, because can you really overcompensate if your version of overcompensating is just simply getting the ball to your All-America level tight end? I think of the guys on the board, he's the one that I feel most comfortable hitting the more on the yards listed. 78.5 is kind of a big number for Worthy. And I want to pick Mitchell, but as Alex pointed out before we came on, his volume share of the Texas passing game is at 15%. And it's such a low number that it might mean he only gets 3 or 4 targets on Saturday. And, if he catches 2 of those, does that mean he definitely gets to 50? I don't know. So I tend to lean more towards Sanders as my secondary play. I actually have some other non-UT prize picks that I am kind of in love with early on. And one of them is in this game. Blake pointed this out earlier. They've got Sawyer Robertson, the Baylor quarterback, at 192.5 yards passing. It will be really disappointing, I think, if the Texas defense now look, Baylor could be chasing, right? I mean, if Texas really gets a lead, they'll be forced to pass a lot, but he's awful. This Baylor offense is not good. I've got the less on Sawyer Robertson. Let me give you a few more of mine. They've got Evan Stewart at home against Auburn at 80.5 receiving yards. I'm pretty sure Stewart is blown past that number in every game he's played this season. They'll have to throw the ball in that game, in my estimation. So I like Stewart to have a big game. They've got Shedeur Sanders against Oregon at 2.5 pass, rush, and receiving touchdowns. So what you're really getting is his combined pass and rushing. And it might all happen in the fourth quarter, Anwar.
Yeah.
He might only have 1 through 3, but he might get 3 in the fourth quarter by himself. That's how good he's been. And let me give you one more that I absolutely love. Dylan Gabriel, the more on the same stat, 2.5 rush, pass, and receiving touchdowns. Cincinnati's an unranked team. These are the teams that Dylan Gabriel feasts on. This is where historically his biggest games occur, in games exactly like this, although I think he played Cincinnati a couple of years ago when they were 7th in the country, and he was okay. It was like a 110 quarterback rating, but I think he had 3 touchdown passes. I think
Gabriel's still their quarterback when Cincy was good that year. How long has he been their quarterback? It doesn't feel like he's been around that long.
Last year was his first year.
Yeah, 2 years. This is the second year.
He was injured.
So he wasn't there for that good Cincinnati team with Desmond Ritter and
he was. He played Cincinnati when they were ranked 7th in the country in 2020. Then he played. Hold on. So let me tell you what he did. He played Oklahoma. He played freshman year 2020. Second year in 2021, he played the whole season. Wait, No. 2019, I guess it was 2019 was his first season. 2020 was his second season.
Well, not at Oklahoma.
No, but then in
Oh,
2021,
okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so
in
he's
2021 he only played 3 games and then basically redshirted so that he could keep a year of eligibility, and then he entered the portal.
Yeah.
So now he's played 2. This is his second year at Oklahoma, but he does have his COVID year to play should he want to come back for another season next year.
Holy crap. Is that right? He can come back for one more after this year?
Yeah, because he's 2019
senior.
was his freshman year. 2020 was his sophomore year. Then he redshirted. And then 2022 was his junior. This is his 4th season. But
2021 he played, but did he – I guess he didn't play enough to –
He played 3 games.
Is that right? Okay. Wow. So he could be a 6th-year senior next year.
He could. He could come back next year. I think he will. I think Dylan Gabriel. The question is, I don't want to get too sidetracked here. Oklahoma's want to get Jackson Arnold on the field every bit as much as at some point Texas is going to want to get Arch Manning on the field. I wonder if Jackson Arnold's just not better than Dylan Gabriel. I'm just not sold on I love Gabriel against this weekend against when he plays borderline average to below average teams or just average teams. He's really good. When he plays ranked teams, he's not. And Cincinnati's not a ranked team. I like Dylan Gabriel this week to do the more on the 2.5 pass, rush, and receiving.
By the way, Jason, just to add in there, people have been around for a long time. Byron Vaughns is playing for Baylor. So,
yeah, he
been talking about people who've been playing ball for a while.
Yeah, he's tied. Like I saw their depth chart on where he's listed as 3rd string, but he's
played a ton of snaps.
Yeah, he's tied. What did I see? He's tied for the team lead with sacks, I think. With 2 sacks, I believe. So he's not listed as a starter, but he must get a lot of work, and he's actually been pretty productive for him.
He was pretty productive at Utah State too. I think he had 1 more year to go. I think he's a grad transfer now, so he had the ability to leave Utah State. I think he just wanted to either A, come back home, or B, play for a Power 5 school. But he was pretty good at Utah State. He wasn't – I think he had 1 year at Utah State. He might have had like 8 sacks. I mean, he's okay. Maybe it was like 6. It was
he like a 2018 guy or something like that? I mean, he's been playing forever.
Well, yeah, they do that sometimes. Christian Jones, I don't know if you know this, Anwar. He's been around since 1967. That's how long Christian Jones has been on the UT campus.
He's been around for a hot minute. So, yes. Those are good picks, by the way. I love your Shedeur stuff as well. Even if Travis Hunter isn't there. Like, they will always highlight him. The yardage may not be there, but they will always make sure. Like, to your point, Catch, I mean – I would love to know how many yards did Shedeur have in that last drive that sent him into overtime? Like, yeah, he will get it at some point, even if it's last second.
Is there a projection on his? Is there a projection on his receiver Horn Jr.?
I was just about to pull that up.
Not yet. The only thing they have is
75.5.
Yeah, 75.5. Yeah.
What is it?
75.5. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
he'll probably get there. That guy's kind of a G too.
See, they actually have
with the Alex, but he only hit it against TCU. I've been playing the Jimmy Horn play because I'm like you, but he did not hit it against Nebraska or Colorado State. But maybe this week without Travis Hunter, he gets peppered a few more targets. But
I mean, they've got Sanders' passing yards at 335.5.
Jeez, that's asking a lot.
And I just kind of
hit it the last 4 games, right?
Yeah,
I know. But it feels like such a tough ask when you read it. You're like, God, look, that's a lot of. It's like when you see the Penix numbers every week, and you're like, the Penix numbers are like 525 yards. You're like, when he hits it every week, you're like, golly. You got to talk yourself into doing something he does every single week.
I actually have a play on where I've got the more on the 3.5 Penix touchdown passes. He's playing Cal. They're not very good. Yeah. It's at home.
Oh.
So, he could have 4 and a quarter. He's so good. They're so good on offense.
They're trying to get him to win a Heisman. So they've got to put up some numbers.
Did you guys think Penix was that good last year whenever you saw him?
I thought he was, for him, he had a very average game, but they were up 27-10 in the fourth quarter. So I think maybe we undervalued how well Texas played against Washington last year. In that bowl
Texas
game on
held him to
defense.
287, but here are his 3 games this year: 450, 409, 473. His line's at 356.5, and he's smashing that line, man, by 100 yards.
I might have to hop on the passing yards number.
Yeah.
I don't know, but wait, hold on. Jason, will you put something on Penix? Hold on, I was excited. If Jason's talking himself,
I'm not telling you.
I don't know if I want it.
I'm not telling you, Omar. You're going to have to play some Russian roulette with that.
You're supposed to help the people, Jason.
Hey, I won more than I lost last week, so I don't want to hear it, Omar.
You did.
Hey, Jason, if we were just talking about last week, I wouldn't give people any advice. I was...
Yeah.
I didn't hit on anything I thought I would hit. Even I thought the Ewers touchdown passes was like the easy play, that there was no way they were going to hold him to less than 3, and he only threw 2. I was so mad. We were doing the watch along when it's 3rd and 5 and he runs in for the touchdown.
Oh, yeah, you and me both. I was like, throw it. Hey, I think I've had 4 in the last 2 weeks that I've hit 5 out of 6. And I just can't get that big one to hit. So maybe this is the weekend.
Good luck.
All right, fellas, that's it. Anybody else got any PrizePicks entries for Saturday they want to throw out? Alex, got anything NFL related you want to?
And they don't. At the time of recording, they just have the Thursday night stuff up for NFL.
Okay.
So I don't have much. I will have them on my show if you're here on the channel. Just make sure and tune in every day, 3 to 3:30 to 5:30, and I'll have PrizePicks NFL stuff.
Hey, they've got all the Sunday stuff up, Alex.
What?
Maybe they just put it up, but it's up now. I'm looking. Sunday stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm not. Oh, do you know what I clicked on? I clicked on the NFL. I think I clicked on the NFL first half.
Oh, okay.
My bad. So yeah, I should have been.
Well, I'll tell you what. Watch Football with Friends today at 3:30. Alex will get all of your daily fantasy Thursday night plays that you need.
For sure.
It's a good tease for that. On that note, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, get notifications, deposit. If you are not playing PrizePicks and you haven't done it yet, do it now. I saw someone earlier scan the QR code. Use that promo code Orangebloods. It's real simple. They will match up to it. They'll give you $100. They will 100% match your initial deposit up to $100. That means they want to give you $100. I mean, why wouldn't you take that? So make sure you do that. Get in on the fun. It actually has the last couple of seasons on where I have to really thank you, right? You made the PrizePicks thing happen. It makes college football more enjoyable. I have a lot more fun watching.
Amen to that.
You know what's interesting, Catch? There's a lot of things that people do in companies for like team building exercises. This might be the best team building exercise we've ever had. Like, forget the retreats, forget the dinners, forget all that. Like, have your company in for pride. This is more fun, honestly, than like fantasy football and managing my teams like every single week, which like I enjoy this like way more. I'll be honest with you. So I'm glad you guys enjoy it because I love it.
I'm with you. All right, guys, that's it. That's it for the PrizePicks prediction show. We've all got our Baylor Texas scores in. If you missed it, they're at the beginning of the video. We gave you our favorite PrizePick entries for the Texas Baylor game. I'm telling you, look, if I'm going to be so mad if Sawyer Robertson backdoor covers that passing number, because there's like late in the game, he's just throwing hero ball, and because that's how Jalen Hurts did it. Although technically that was still a ball game, but I felt so good about my Jalen Hurts in the passing game. And then in the fourth quarter, it was like, wait a minute, what's happening? Why is this happening? So forgive me if in the end Sawyer Robertson in the fourth quarter just tacks on a bunch of yards and I cause you to lose. I apologize. But for now, I like this Texas defense to do a number on that dude. There's a better chance of that guy not finishing the game because he's so inconsistent and non-productive that by the time the fourth quarter rolls around, it could be like that Alabama game that could be one play away from like making the decision to put in a different guy. He has not been good. For myself, Alex, Jason, Anwar, the whole Orangebloods crew, thanks for watching today's video. Good luck this weekend on PrizePicks. We'll talk to you soon. Later.